installed and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Wait, your car didn't have a horn?
Yeah, well, my dad rebuilt this thing like 20 years ago. It
Yeah.
was salvaged and he rebuilt it and he didn't see the need for a horn. So he left that part out. But everything else is beautiful and working and sound.
So prior to getting a horn, or do you have the horn now?
I have the horn.
Okay, so prior
It's
to the
working.
horn, when you had to, tell somebody to move, did you just like roll down the window and hollered at them? What was?
It just kind of, the patient thing kicked in again. I just kind of waited.
She's a beauty.
Welcome to Tarducks, a podcast for content creators to come on, share their stories, advice, and some more. Today, I'm very happy to have Miss Dunk. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Excellent. So normally what I normally do, we start the pod off with 3 rapid questions just to get the juices flowing. And are you ready?
I'm ready. Bring it on.
Okay. Best birthday gift.
Oh, it was a party, actually.
Okay. Nice. Second one, last movie you saw.
The new Jurassic Park movie.
Was it good?
It was okay. The original is by far the best.
Yeah. All right. And finally, you're going out to your favorite restaurant. What are you ordering?
Oh, sushi.
Okay. Easy. There we go. All right. So let's get started here. So now, where does the name come from?
It's actually from when I kind of was in middle school. I
Mm-hmm.
liked basketball a lot, and I wasn't as tall as all the boys, and so I technically couldn't dunk, but I made them think that I could, so
Excellent.
dunk.
So now, who was your favorite team growing up?
Definitely the Thunder, Oklahoma
Yeah.
City Thunder.
Yeah, they had so much potential there, and then they all
I
went their
did.
different ways. It was so
Yep.
sad. Ah.
Yes.
So now, what's your background before you started streaming? What were you doing before?
I was doing research, so I
Mm-hmm.
have a more medical background. I have an undergraduate in biology, and then I decided that that wasn't really the route I wanted to take, and I went more of a business background. And at the same time as I was looking into business things, I was also starting a hobby, which was gaming for the
Yeah.
first time, and I
Oh,
found Twitch.
yeah. Okay, very cool. Now, so when did you start gaming? Then basically later in life, or were you gaming
Mhm.
early?
My dad really wasn't into the whole gaming scene, much more of go outside and do things
Yeah.
outside. But I started, I think, about 23,
Yeah.
24.
Okay. Now, what was your first? Was it a console, or did you go PC right away?
It was PS4, and then I think it was 1 or 2 years with the PS4, and then I built my PC.
Nice. Now, what were some of the favorite games you remember from the PS4 days?
The first one was Rocket League,
Yeah.
and if I picked up Rocket League right now, I would be awful. But definitely Rocket League I remember, and then Save the World and Fallout 76. So
Okay. And now, what made you jump to the PC world?
it was streaming actually, so I
Yeah.
was streaming off the PS4 before,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I think off of like a really old desktop.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to upgrade that, but then I was like, okay, I gotta try games too, and I fell in love.
Excellent. So now, how did you find Tarkov? What was your path?
Tarkov I found from Twitch.
Yeah.
So Lubo played it a lot, and then I found some smaller communities from that, and I just kind of took to it, and I didn't think I could play it, and
Yeah.
so I gave it a shot, and it was really fun and challenging.
Oh, yes. That's an understatement. Challenging. Absolutely. So now, how long you've been playing it so far?
I'm at 2.5 years.
Yeah. Okay. So is that right before interchange, or was interchange there when you started?
Interchange was there. The map that came in right before I joined in the middle of a wipe. It was reserve, and they had
Oh,
added the
okay.
hideout aspect, which
Yep.
is actually what got me interested was the hideout because I like building bases usually in games, and so I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So,
Okay. And now, what was the hook that made you stay with Tarkov?
outflanking somebody and
Yeah.
expect like figuring out where they were probably gonna go.
Yeah. That thrill of taking somebody down.
I
Yeah.
still remember my first 100-meter headshot. So,
Isn't it funny how this game, I haven't found any other game that just makes those memories last. Like you remember different
mhm.
encounters and getting that one kill or things like that.
Yeah, it's really neat and it's really nice going into a raid and it's not cookie cutter. It's not the same thing that you had in the previous raid.
Right, absolutely. So now, what is your hated quest, most hated quest you do or you
It's
have to do?
set up with the shotguns and the Ushanka hats
Mm-hmm.
on customs.
Customs.
Yeah, no.
I hate shotguns.
Me
Oh my god.
too.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the first wipe. I'm not chasing Kappa. I basically just got the 42 and I'm done. I don't want to do any shotgun quests or anything. I'm just, everything's unlocked. I won the game. That's it. I can play how I want to play.
Nice.
Now, which do you prefer to run? Do you prefer to run solos or as a squad?
I prefer solos, and I have for a long time, but I've gone into more of a duo setting, and I like a good duo setting.
Yeah.
Squads can be fun, but they get crazy on the comms, and it's just like information overload, and I may or
Mm-hmm.
may not lose track of who's who.
It's funny how this game, for me, this game's really shown how we are really not great at communicating,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And, this game will, possibly cause some, lifelong friendships to end.
You'll be safe from me. I take things pretty chill when it comes to
Okay.
dying in Tarkov. I've gotten used to it.
So now, who do you normally roll with in your duos?
I've been mixing it up, but I've been playing recently I played with Bazinga and Miss Bo, so they were a lot of fun to play
Yeah.
with, and then Arson and Reefy and JBB and I recently competed in a tournament with Finest and Grayson, and they're great. They're really
Oh,
good to play with.
excellent. Now, do you find that when you play with other people that the callouts sometimes are different than what you're normally used to?
Oh yes, yes. I we were in the back of Goshen and just the other night, and I accidentally team killed my team kill of the wipe. But Reef did a call out of he's by eggs, and I was like, what the fuck is eggs? Like, what is this? I was like, I don't know.
And what was eggs?
I guess it was a shelf. I still don't know.
Okay.
So
So now for you, what was the hardest thing to learn playing this game?
mm, the hardest thing to learn was probably throwing grenades. I honestly still struggle with grenade
Yeah.
throws. They bounce a lot. That was one of them. I remember the first time I fat fingered. I think I had it on F and I had to move it, but yes.
So now, what is your least favorite map that you like to run or you have to run?
Least favorite. This wave has actually been interchange, which is really sad because I used to love it a lot, and
Yeah.
I just can't see anything. So it's too dark.
Okay. It is too dark. That's a complaint we get a lot of times. And now, how about your favorite map you like to run?
My favorite map is Woods. I main Woods.
Okay. Just like Deadly.
Yes, it's a
Excellent.
blast.
So now, you saw the latest Tarkov TV probably of what's coming and whatnot. What are you looking forward to most?
I think for me, I'm really looking forward to the Lighthouse expansion, because I didn't enjoy the map as much as I thought I would, and I think it's because it's not finished yet, and
Yeah.
so I'm really interested to see how it turns out.
Yeah, yeah. I get the impression that we're not going to have the trader for Lighthouse yet, from what from the video that Nikita hinted at and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. I'm curious to see what all comes out. I think we'll get bosses though.
Yeah. All right. So now you get to pick your ultimate squad to go into do a 4 or 5 person raid. Past OG Tarkov people, future or present people. Who are you picking as your all-star squad to go into, and what map?
All All-Star Squad. Okay, I would pick. mm, I pick Philbo, Iron Fist, and
Yep.
Walker, and then we would need another. So, um, hmm, maybe I don't know who would best fit in there. Maybe Blank potentially, but definitely the comms with that group is
Yeah.
always simple because they play with each other nonstop. So I could get in there and know where everybody's at right away.
Nice. And would that be a woods map?
Probably not. Iron is not the best when it comes to woods, so
Yeah.
we would probably need to stick it out on interchange, but I would be okay, or
Okay.
maybe customs.
Yeah. So now, what is a lot of the guests I've had on, and a lot of the female guests, Bazinga and Nixia, they talked about we talked about the community and how Tarkov is a nice community for females. What has your experience been?
It's been really good. I mean, for every one toxic encounter there's been like 20 to 50 amazing encounters.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same as what I've experienced with VoIP and Tarkov. It's the same way.
Yeah.
And for the most part, the community's fairly mature and
Yeah.
just really genuine and sweet. So
That's good. Yeah, this is the first gaming community I've really jumped into, and it just seems, everybody. It's like I don't want to use the word family, but it's a very, everybody's helping each other out. There's very little egos, and yeah, it's a good feeling.
definitely,
Yeah.
yes.
So now, is this the first gaming community you've really, explored with?
I was pretty big into the Fallout 76 community. I played
Yeah.
it for about 8 months, but never anything this deep. And
Yeah.
I think Tarkov and the community is going to be that game that I look back and I'm like, that's what I played, kids. Like, that was my game. So,
So now, what made you jump into streaming?
um, my close friends from college were all many miles away in different states. And
Yeah.
so gaming was a way to connect with them when they were free or to find new people to connect with. Yeah, it was my way.
Oh, okay. And now, do you remember your first stream when you went live and actually strangers coming in?
Yes, I still know the first person that came in to this day, JD. He's my admin and my mod. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
It's a weird feeling, isn't it? Like, all of a sudden you've got people coming in. It's like, okay, how do I act? What are they expecting?
Yes, it was very different.
So now since you started streaming, how long ago was this, by the way, when you first went live?
It'll be 4 years in October.
Oh, wow. Very cool. So now over those 4 years, what's been the highlight for you?
I think the highlight was my first 24-hour stream, which
Yeah.
was this January. I think I started to take streaming really serious about a year and a half ago, and
Yeah.
so I was just like, "There's no way I could do a 24-hour, like no way." And then Garlem asked me, "You up for a 24-hour? Like,
Oh, no
can you do?"
way.
It?" I was like, "Okay, I could do this."
How tough was it to do a 24-hour?
I was the last couple of hours were pretty rough. We were on woods with Rock Mom, Amethyst, and Shayna, and we were all four doing a 24-hour. We were
Oh
just
my
dead.
God.
We were looking for Ames's O scope, and we were just so chill. We were just walking in the fields, not looking around for anybody.
Oh my God.
We were dead tired.
Oh Lord. So now so did you leave basically your career and then jump into streaming full time, or did you sort of ease into it?
I was a student at the time, so it was kind of like a side, like at first it was a hobby and just see if I like this.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a side job while I finished school. And then after school, I took a few months to decide. I'm a very patient person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, streaming's the first thing that I felt super passionate about and felt at home in.
Yeah.
And I couldn't ignore that because I've tried several other career paths and
Yeah.
did not feel at home.
Oh, that's good. So now, when did you do you remember that point where you said, I got this. I can go take this full time. I can make this career, or did you just like, all right, I'm going for it?
I don't think there was a point where it was like, I got this. and I think everybody questions whether or not they've got it a lot. But it was definitely, I want to do this and I want to work at this.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. So now, what's been the toughest thing for you as a content creator?
Probably all the tech things.
Yeah.
You have to wear so many different hats when it comes to streaming, and yes, the tech sometimes will get the best of me. I'm getting better though.
Yeah.
Getting better.
So now, how many, when you got your Twitch partner notice, what was that experience like? Everybody has a different story.
That was 2 weeks of waiting, and I had waited a month to put in the application to make sure the numbers would stick
Mm-hmm.
because I was just very nervous, but also was like, I gotta be patient, just wait. And when I finally got it, it was just kind of like, it was insane. I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So,
Now, how many times did you apply?
I applied one time.
Oh, that's
So,
it. Wow.
yeah.
Like a lot of the other people, like they've done it like 4 or 5 times, and
Yes.
so
And
that's
I
pretty.
think that's why I was so nervous. I was just like, I just want to make sure the numbers stick for a month so I could be
Yeah.
like, look, like here are the numbers. I'd heard so many stories about multiple applications and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Oh,
nerve-wracking.
oh, that's fantastic. So now you dabble a bit in TikTok now as well, a little bit in
Mhm.
YouTube. Have you managed to figure out what that secret algorithm is to get the videos to explode?
YouTube, I've just created one YouTube guide and then life got really busy with the partner
Yeah,
application going in and then moving to Texas. So YouTube I will revisit here soon and
yeah.
TikTok is always a toss up. I haven't figured out the magic secret
So now, for people looking to jump into this, what advice would you have for them?
into streaming.
Yeah.
For streaming, I would say just kind of like research or like take notes of some people that you idolize or streams that you just thoroughly enjoy on a regular day basis of why do you enjoy it and what would you want your audience to leave with after visiting your stream.
All right, cool. So we got two paths next. We've got the Sherpa path and we've got the Evasion path. So let's start with Evasion. So what is Evasion for those people that don't know?
Evasion is a organization created by Sigma, huge female streamer in the Tarkov community. She's really great, and she created basically a team and then a bunch of events and competitive events in the community for Tarkov.
And you're a member of that team.
I am. I'm number 22, so yes.
Now, how did you end up becoming a team member of
Um,
Evasion?
Garlem approached me and was asking me before that I worked as a battle mod with them,
Oh, no
volunteered,
way.
and so I was a scorekeeper, and then I slowly finished up school and I started competing a little bit. I did a couple tournaments
Yeah.
and the stream was also growing, and so they asked me to come on to the team.
Excellent. Yeah, there's such a great people over there. So far, up to this point, I've had Garlem, I've had Bunny, I've had Sigma, Brian was just on, Trent was just on, and it's just like everybody's fantastic, and they just can't say
Yes,
enough of how it's like a family feeling it is, and it's yeah,
definitely. Yep. Brian is he's fantastic. He's one of my mods and a
yeah.
good friend, and so
Oh,
is
okay.
Garlem. So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, Garland was guest number two, and he doesn't do a camera, but he came on, and it was yeah, I really like him. He was a good guest. Oh, cool. So now, anything coming up for an Invasion that you're looking forward to?
They've just wrapped up. I believe the last event was the trios, and so now with getting ready for wipe, we're kind of in that like little bit of a lull moment.
Yeah,
To everything's about to get crazy,
it
but
is.
I'm always looking forward to what's gonna go on with the private servers, and then they
Yeah.
have arenas typic like somewhere on the way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, Nikita will let us do something with
Yeah.
that. I would be down.
Excellent. So now, going back a second, you talked about being a battle mod. So now, what would you do? How would you describe being a battle mod?
Battle mode is very much basically, I don't know. It's kind of like a toss up between being a coach slash water boy slash referee all at the same time,
Yeah.
and just being there to answer questions for the competitor as well as staying alert to keeping track of their score.
Yeah.
So
So you're sort of like that line of communication from the competitor back to, the people running the tournament, essentially.
right,
They have
exactly, and
questions.
yeah, and sometimes I didn't have all the answers, but
Yeah.
then there was Brian and Garlem right there to quickly like answer those questions too.
Yeah. And now, how did you end up becoming a battle mod?
I first competed in a duos tournament and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like this is a really nice sense of community.
Hmm.
And I just wanted to jump into that and dive into the community because I
Yeah.
felt really at home.
Oh, very cool. All right. So, the Sherpa program.
Yes.
So that's how I came across your stream one day, and you were Sherpaing somebody around, and it was just so amazing to watch. You were so patient. You're very methodical about how you're explaining things to the guy who was running with you, and it was just like, wow, that's okay. That's why these Sherpas have that special color by their name, and you know your stuff, and you're good at explaining the game. So what was that path for you? How did you end up becoming a Sherpa?
So I first Sherpa Triangle Face back in December. Oh, what year was that? I don't even remember. But I first Sherpa'd her, and that was before I was a Sherpa. And I was like, wow, this is really fun to help new players. And she was like glued to the hip with me for about a week until she got her Tarkov feet
Yeah.
and her Timmy legs. But she was great. She was fantastic. I fell in love with it, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to submit an application. And I didn't hear back. There's a lot of applications that go through, and that was okay. That was fine. I taught some people in my community. I did community raids a lot and scab armies, and then they eventually created the role content creator Sherpa, I believe.
Hmm.
So I got recommended for that back in last May and then
Yeah.
accepted at the end of May. So,
Okay. And for those that don't know what, the Sherpa program is, it's a battle state, group of, I guess authorized group that people can go to and look for people to show them the game.
we have about, I would say a little over 100 staff, and then
Wow.
with Sherpas included into
Yeah.
that. So people helping to run the Sherpa Hub and the Sherpa program. And yeah, that we're instructors for new players, and sometimes we help even experienced players learn a new map like labs or something.
Yeah. And now how would people go to find a Sherpa?
So I really, really like the Discord because I am very Discord oriented, but there's
Hmm.
also an official website, and I can give you the links for those.
Yeah.
But they just get involved in either of those and submit a ticket,
Yeah.
and so for what they're trying to learn.
And do they, can they pick what kind of map, what kind of play style, what can they choose when they, sort of apply, hey, come help me?
Yeah, so it's better to give more specifics. So, what map you're trying to learn, what your experience level is, and what you're struggling with. So, it really helps when we pick a ticket to know what you're struggling with and
Hmm.
if you can pinpoint why maybe you keep dying. And then it's a large array of things. Sometimes we teach basics. Maybe we just have somebody that open up their stash and like, oh, this is overwhelming, and I
Yeah.
don't even know where to start. And so we
Oh,
we can we teach from that point as well. I've had very first time raids, so.
I didn't even think of that concept, but yeah, being just showing somebody how the whole front end works is
Mhm.
overwhelming.
Yes, I've had a couple of sessions where I helped them like organize or know what to sell, and we never even went into a raid.
Yeah.
And so it was just all the interface in the beginning and what do I do with this?
Yeah, yeah, because like I remember when I first started playing, it was about 2 weeks before I was playing with somebody. He said, "Oh, hit the R key." The R key to what? Oh, rotate. Because I was just like and then
Yep.
taking grips off of guns to make that extra row. It's like little things like that, can just be huge help.
Yes, selling mags. I always like
Yeah.
you can buy those mags back. Unless it looks really special, you could get it back.
Absolutely. So now when you go to pick your ticket, are you looking through what they're looking for help for, and then you pick that, or is it just a random?
So Sherpas select their tickets, and it's because each Sherpa is a little bit different. We all have different play styles
Yeah.
and strengths. Like mine is mid to far range fights, and then woods, for example. So I typically look for woods tickets, if I'm gonna take those tickets, and then or anybody trying to learn how to snipe.
Yeah.
But I'll teach basics too. I like customs a lot, so I'll run those as well because we get a lot of tickets for like I'm just trying to learn customs and get this first task done.
That damn pocket watch.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So now what is, you just said you like to do sniping. What is that? What aspect of the game is your favorite? Is that the
Yeah,
sniping
that's
aspect?
definitely it. Yeah, give me a bolt action and I'm in a happy place. So, yes.
See, I'm in a happy place sniping. I'm not sure about the bolt action. That Woods quest, 3 bolt action kills on Woods in one raid. Oh, I
That
didn't look
one's my
forward to that one.
favorite.
Oh my god.
That one's my favorite.
Oh, yes, but the sniping is definitely fun. Nothing better than, you're in a long range engagement and just getting that kill.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. So now, what for somebody, what are some quick tips would you have for somebody learning this game, coming from being a Sherpa?
So usually when somebody wants quick tips, I give them a YouTube video. I give
Yeah.
them Swampfox's quick, like I think he has like 100 tips for Tarkov or
Yeah.
things you didn't know about Tarkov. I was like, you gotta watch this. You gotta watch this. He lists it all out, but I was just like, my main ones are get a map
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to use the wiki or YouTube. And
Yeah.
so, and maybe grab a buddy or jump into the Sherpa hub for some help.
Yeah. Map knowledge is key, and spawn points. Knowing where you can
Yes.
be attacked from, that's, to me, that's, one of the main important things to understand and learn.
Yes, I definitely agree. And it's one of the things I think new players, along with situational awareness, kind of lack at first because
Yeah.
it's just so overwhelming getting the mechanics down.
Yeah. Yeah. That whole situational awareness is huge, not, knowing where you are and where you could be attacked from.
Yeah, and the time to heal, like when is the proper time to heal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. So now, what from what you've seen, what do most people struggle with most when they start, trying to, you take somebody in, you take a Timmy in with you, and are you like, are they just too chatty? What are some things that you see as a common thing that people struggle with?
So the common thing at the Timmy level is definitely situational awareness, like we just talked about. But then about in the level 30s, they get a little like overconfident,
Uh
and
huh.
so it's the jumping on bodies right away and to
Yeah.
get the loot and or just like running headfirst into a situation maybe without knowing all the information. Which, granted, everybody has a play style, and W key is one of them. It's just I'm more of the operate on information or make sure nobody's around before I loot.
Yeah. Patience. Patience is
Patient.
key.
Yes, I'm a very patient person. So
Oh, fantastic. So now, what other content creators are out there that you like to that people should check out?
So if I'm editing early morning, I check out Dan Exert. He's
Yeah.
in the UK. He's great. He's a emissary and did a lot of Sherping for a lot of time. He's a great person. And then in the evenings, I flip switch and I'm probably got Batty on. He's got a great music playlist.
He does, doesn't he?
Yes, and then I don't know, in the afternoons there's so many, but I usually will throw on like Von Helsing or Ash or
Yeah.
JVV. There's so many.
There really is. All those people you named are just so entertaining to watch, and it's, yeah, we really do have a great community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now so what schedule do you have for your, when you go streaming?
So since getting partner, I mixed in some evening streams.
Yeah.
Before that, I was about 11 a.m. Central to 6 p.m. I
Yeah.
stuck to that pretty strictly. But I've mixed in some evening streams now, and so I will do a start between anywhere from 11 to 1 Central is my go-to is when I try to start, and then I
Yeah.
go a lot later sometime now. But yeah.
So now, what I've heard from different content creators who stream different for a while and different times of the day, that chat is different sometimes. Whether certain
Oh
times of
yes.
the year, mornings versus evenings, weekends versus weekdays. What's your experience been?
So I've noticed the evenings and mornings the most because I've mainly been a morning and day streamer, and
Yeah.
so it's just kind of crazy because they like to bitbot more at the evening in my
Oh, okay.
community, and so it's just like I could tell at night. I was like, okay, so now the troublemakers are here. Okay, and it's interesting saying goodnight to people.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really new, and then them telling me, "Oh, you should be asleep."
So now, for those that haven't heard, what is Bitbot?
Bitbot is also called InstructBot, but it's basically where they can control my character in game with bits. So they could make me throw a nade, or make me shoot, or make me go prone at a certain point. I have ran with Bitbot this wipe since level 15.
Why? Oh my God, this game is tough enough. The pucker factor is insane. And to allow your community to just drop a nade or lay down, I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, it's this is the first wipe that I've done it for the
Mm-hmm.
full. I did it just a little bit last wipe,
Yeah.
so it was really interesting, but I like it. It adds another element and surprise and challenge. Sometimes I don't like
Yeah.
it. And I give them the evil eye, but it's fun. It's fun.
Oh my Lord. So with this 12-12 patch that dropped way back in Christmas, with VoIP and inertia and everything like that, what was the thing that you really in the civilian flea market? What were some of the things you really liked from that patch?
I would say VoIP was my favorite thing and the thing I was most worried about. I've
Mm-hmm.
played Rust before a little
Yeah.
bit, and the VoIP can get really toxic, so I was thinking along those lines, but it's actually really great. I love what they did with the timer, so we
Yeah.
can't talk forever. And I haven't had that many toxic interactions. I've had some really cool interactions, so.
Yeah. Excellent. And now, what was your take on because you've been here for a while, we had without the found and ray flea, and now we have sort of that, civilian flea market. And I personally, I really like what they've done with it. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I really like the flea market. I'm really interested to see with keys, not being able to drop keys this next
Yes.
wipe, what the barters are going to be like for keys. That's what I am excited for and interested in with this coming wipe is how much bartering are we going to do?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, the key thing is interesting because, when I run with a bunch of friends, we sort of pick, okay, I'll grab this key, you grab this key, and now we all
Mhm.
can't just share it. We've got to be in that raid unlocking that door or whatnot.
Yeah, it's going to put like very big priority on surviving too.
Yes.
Like, mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So now after you sign off from, streaming all day, what are some of the things you like to do?
I like to cook, so I cook a lot of my own meals, and so that's usually what I'm doing afterwards is getting that food.
Yeah.
Um, that's the big one, and then lately I've just kind of been settling in here in Texas and decorating my room and
Yeah.
figuring out how I want things. So that's the routine right now, but I also play on the Switch a little bit, so I'll typically maybe pick up the Switch
And what are you
and do a
playing on
game.
Switch?
It kind of depends. Right now, I've been playing Overcooked 2, which is not like a calm, soothing game, but it's hilarious. It's great.
And now you came from, was it Oklahoma, you said, to
I
Texas?
did. Hmm.
Much of a, change in environment or, pretty much similar?
Well, it has similarities, but the drivers are way different.
Really?
Yes, there are crazy drivers here. They do vehicle inspections here. It's weird. I thought it would be humid, but it's dry heat, and
Yeah.
so I'm loving that because it was humid in Oklahoma, so this is great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's quite different and
Yeah.
sometimes similar. I don't know.
Now, what are the inspections they do there?
They do car inspections, and I
Like
drive an
random?
old. No, you have
Okay.
to you have to go through this whole process before you can get your vehicle registered in the state. And so you have
Oh.
to get it checked out by a mechanic. And that was very new to me. Apparently other states do this. Oklahoma does not. So I was just like, oh boy, I had to get a horn installed and all sorts of things. Yeah.
Wait, your car didn't have a horn?
Yeah, well, my dad rebuilt this thing like 20 years ago. It
Yeah.
was salvaged and he rebuilt it and he didn't see the need for a horn. So he left that part out. But everything else is beautiful and working and sound.
So prior to getting a horn, or do you have the horn now?
I have the horn.
Okay, so
It's
prior to
pretty
the
cool.
horn, when you had to, tell somebody to move, did you just like roll down the window and holler at them? What was?
It just kind of, the patient thing kicked in again. I just kind of waited. Also, I'm a homebody. I don't drive a whole lot, so the
Yeah,
horn thing wasn't a big deal.
it's
And
optional.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was optional, but not
Oh my.
here.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, you survived the podcast. Hopefully, it wasn't too painful.
It was a great time. Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Now, before I let you go, though, at the end of every podcast, I ask the guests to call out somebody that they recommend that they should come on the podcast. And who would you like to call out?
I would probably call out Von Helsing if you haven't had him on. He's
You know what?
fantastic.
That's you, Ash, and I think it was Will have both called him out. So I know he's been busy and
Mm-hmm.
we've been chatting. So yes, he absolutely
Good.
is going to come on. But I
And
appreciate that.
and if Vaughn doesn't come on, grab Swampfox. He's great. He's
All
great.
right. There we go. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was really nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was great to meet you too. Thank you so much.